In this video, we'll try to introduce a new feature of the Harvester 1.6. It's called Kube-OVN. So we go to the add-ons and we'll see a new options called Kubeovn-operator. Then we enable it and wait it to be activated. Now you will go to networks and you will see a new network type called overlay network. It will be in the virtual machine networks, and we will create two different overlay networks. One is called v1, and we will have a new type overlay network. It's very important. The overlay network is for connecting the Kube-OVN subnet to the virtual machines. So it's a bridge from Kube-OVN to the Harvester. So we create a vSwitch2, and it will be for the two subnet. So now we go to the virtual private cloud. You will see two default subnet in the default virtual private cloud. Then we create our own virtual private cloud. It's called VPC1. And we create new subnet. Specify with name as vSwitch1 subnet. We give a CID address of 172.20.10 for 24 bits. And we use the provider as a first overlay network, vSwitch1. Then we specify the gateway IP. Create. Then we create the second subnet, and we use the vSwitch2 overlay network as the provider. So we create vSwitch2 subnet. We specify CIDR 172.20.20 for 24 bit. And we use the vSwitch2 as the provider. Specify the gateway IP and create. Now we have two subnet. Then we will try to create two virtual machines to connect to different subnet. So now we go to the subnet configuration. We have to enable the DHCP. So it's about to enable a DHCP feature for the subnet. So every virtual machine connect to the subnet can get the correct default route options from the subnet. Then we apply the same thing on subnet 2 to enable the DHCP. Then we go to virtual machines to create two different virtual machines. The first one we call VM1 vSwitch1. We give basic configurations. Specify the VM image. In this case, we use the Ubuntu 24.04 as the VM image. We upload the Ubuntu Cloud image file. Waiting for upload. Okay, you can create a virtual machine now. So we create VM1-vSwitch1. Give very basic configurations. then specify the network to be the first overlay network, vSwitch1. Then we go to advanced options to give the cloud init data for the login information. Okay. Then we create a second virtual machine called VM1 vSwitch2. Some basic configurations. We just specify a different overlay network to be vSwitch2. So we'll choose vSwitch2. Then create. Yeah, we connect two different virtual machines to different subnet. So the VM1 vSwitch1 get the IP address from subnet 1, and we expect the VM1 vSwitch2 get the IP address from subnet 2. So to enable the default route entry, we have to go to the virtual machines configuration to use the binding interface manage tab, so that it won't use the default DHCP server from the KubeVirt. After this change applied, we can get the correct DHCP options from the subnet. Then we will have a default route correctly configured. If we don't do this, we will have no default route for each connected virtual machines. Then we will fail to connect IP address from other subnet or other IP range. So now we restore the two virtual machines. We will demonstrate pin connectivity from two virtual machines. So we will try to connect a VM1 vSwitch1 to VM1 vSwitch2. They are belonging to different subnet, and we are trying to pin from VM1 vSwitch1 to VM1 vSwitch2. So now the default route is there. We'll do the same thing on the second virtual machines. And we check the same thing, the default route. As you know that by default that the subnet belong to the same virtual private cloud are able to connect it to each other. They share the connectivity under the same VPC. If the subnet belongs to different VPC, they are not able to connect to each other. So now we are trying to pin from VM1 vSwitch2. You can see the pin is okay. And we try to connect from the VM1 vSwitch1. Yeah, they can pin each other. under the same virtual private cloud but different subnet. So now we'll go to the subnet 1's configuration. We'll demonstrate how the private subnet works. If we enable the private subnet, it means that the subnet are not accessible from other subnets under the same virtual private cloud. So now you see we do the same ping. Yeah, the connection is failing. So then we can use the another configuration which called allowed subnet. Then we will specify the CIDR of the subnet we want to allow it. So then we'll do the same ping. The connection is back. So now you know how to use the private